second part to the video, my friends. If you haven't seen the first video, you must watch it. Do not watch from this point. Watch the first video. And this is going to be about explaining eternity with what we have. This sheet of paper, which represents the whole universe of time and space. Length, width, height and time. Time in which it all exists. And I want you to understand something before I begin with where we left off, and that's that think about the complexity of eternity in its mathematical reasoning of going outward forever. And in reality, as I said before, that it would eventually exhaust that potential that it originally had by whatever power source, whether it was the thinker or whether it was a mathematical power source, or either whether it was a thought power source, would eventually exhaust the very potential that it had. So the only logical answer is for it to go inward. But there's more to it than that. If you were to go outward forever, you create a problem known as I call, the inefficiency of space. And it just does not make sense. You have to create too much space to contain the space that is. You're all the time trying to make space for space. Instead, what you do is you find this space that already lies therein. And that space is inexhaustible. It is inexhaustible in the direction that you would travel inward. And we have proved, or will prove, and continue to prove with this piece of paper. So I'm going to start where I left off here. And I was saying, as you opened up each one of these levels of universe progression, meaning this first one is where you start now, okay? This is your physical form. As we open up each one of these squares, you are opening yourself up into successive higher levels of spiritual reality. Now, as the fold has showed you, you are receiving more and more as you travel inward. Not only are you receiving more of that which you already possess, but you are actually receiving more space and time as you go inward. And as we get to the last level of being, we instantly realize that there is so much more left to go. Each one of these squares represents the original square that we started with in the beginning. Each one of those squares can also be folded ever inward. Each one of these squares will continue to fold ever and ever inward. And you will never, ever reach an end. What you are seeing is called the many worlds problem, or the infinity problem. And you are seeing that it is explained. You are seeing that God can be everywhere, all present, at all times, and all knowing by this mathematical equation that we're using in the paper. You also can see that as we travel inward, as I've stated, by unfolding the spiritual levels of progression, we are expanding at the exact same time all the potential that lies around us. That's the paradox, my friends, that I said as you go inward, everything gets larger around you. That's the paradox of infinity, is that it goes inward. That's the efficiency of space. And in this direction, you never, ever run out of it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop short here, because I want other people to find more in what I've said. And if you could, if there are any quantum theorists out there, physicists, any unified wave theory, any holographic universe, schools of thought people out there, I'd like you to use this to explore the further theoretical understanding of your mathematical equation. And I urge you to do so because you will find therein the answer. I'll just explain real quick that all of these potentials that we see that are layered upon themselves, they instantly explain why the quantum physicist, what the quantum physicist refers to as the infinite choice of the quantum particle. And this is it. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because I know that neither of you or most of you don't have this high scientific understanding. That's okay. I'm about to give it to you in a spiritual, discerning manner. And I want you to go ahead and listen closely and remember, as you saw the demonstration that I showed, I want you to listen to these words. As we travel inward, we are really unfolding our spiritual potentials, actually multiplying them upon themselves. We are seeing the reflection of oneness being cast from the infinite supreme depths of the Father's presence to the finite space-bound worlds of physical time and space. When we reach the sevenfold level of God, we instantly discover that there is infinitely more portions of His being. Each level or square that you see is a perfect reflection of the infinite potentials of our existence with God. From any of these squares, you can travel infinitely inward and onward, resting assured that everything you see, feel, and know is a perfect reflection of the space-time pattern of eternity, the Father of all that is. Now, those are my original words that describe the process that you saw, and I have defined them in a spiritual manner, in which I believe is the true over-control of science and mathematics. I'd also like to read this to you also, which will help further explain. All this explains the mystery of infinity of quantum mechanics. As you look from the position of the current observer, which are limited by the viewing position of the time-space-bound universe level, i.e. these 4 dimensions, as they stare outward from the view of this currently occupied level of reality, they encounter the paradox of themselves staring back. Only when they look inward does the universe reality give up its secret of eternity, of the ongoing, ever-increasing, ever-enlarging, panoramic scope of universe potentials. As you look outward, you are looking into smallness of things, and equally, as you look inward, you are now looking into the largeness of reality, the very infinity of God. Now, I hope those words have taken what the paper's complexity is showing and simplified it for you. But I'd also like to go one step further and now give you another thing, and this is for anybody who wants to challenge me on what I've stated. And I'd like to tell you now that what we're going to do here is we're going to explore infinity using the same paper, but in a different manner. And we're going to use the same theory of the fold, because God is that enfolding fire that folds in upon itself. I would like to say that, imagine this is, as we fold, we're going to go ahead and get rid of one portion of that fold. I'm going to fold again and get rid of that one portion of that fold. I'm going to fold again and get rid of that one portion of fold. So on and so on, my friends. Now let's just say that I have torn this paper so far that now I've used a microscope, an X-Acto knife, and tweezers. Now let's say that I have even torn that paper further to where I've got to the point where I've exhausted the means in which science has supplied me to experience any further the testing of this scientific theory. So we're at this point now where science says that I can't go any further. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Science's own understanding will reveal the truth in this. Anything can be halved. Anything can be folded. I am left with something, and that something can be halved. You will never, ever be left not with something. At this point, I can't go any further. Well, guess what? I'm still holding something, and that something can be halved. At this point, supposedly I can't go any further. Wrong. I'm still holding something. You would never, ever get to the point where you're not holding anything. Think about this, my friends. Thank you.